Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Bryce with the Strength Athlete. Currently 1.5 weeks out from competition. I thought it'd be a good time to just let the footage roll and talk about peaking for meets in general and approaches for the raw, drug-free powerlifter. At least in what has worked for me, generally keeping intensity high as you close in on competition, but dropping volume enough to facilitate enough recovery for you to be able to perform at peak capacity, I think are probably the most important concerns. You want to keep intensity high because the training adaptations that you've made leading up to that cycle and being able to lift heavy weight at whatever level of frequency you've been able to lift, but more importantly, just keeping those adaptations that you've made to, the high intensities, the RPEs, if you want to use that way of thinking about things, the RPEs at 9.5 and up for doubles, triples, and singles, and if you want to think in terms of percentage, anything below rep and 90+%. Those types of things dissipate over time if you don't hit them frequently. So I don't think it's a good idea to take 2 weeks off lifting heavy right before the meet with the idea that you'll be performing better as a result. It may actually be the opposite, that you'd end up performing worse because you get a detraining effect. So leading up into a meet, that's an important realization to make. Another thing is to get in as much practice with the commands, with walking things out, with as close to all the exact specifications of lifting in a meet that you can get. So that's important, and then the practice of your openers as well. So the way we usually structure things for our athletes, and the way I believe 3DMJ does as well, is that the week of competition we end up practicing openers at least once or twice, because it also helps boost confidence and it helps reduce the number of errors made in competition due to things like missing a rack command, or simple things like moving your feet, or just normal things like that. And it also gives you a little bit more of a reality check on how easy or hard your openers are. Maybe you can adjust things outside of that. So really good idea as far as that goes. Also a good idea not to change things fundamentally leading up in your competition. So it's not a good idea to switch to some new peaking protocol right as you're closing on a competition. It's a better idea, I believe, to change what you've already been doing so it's less of a shock fundamentally, because as I'm sure a lot of you guys can realize, even a workout here or there that's fundamentally different from what you're usually doing can alter recovery time, and you'd end up feeling sore in places that you aren't usually, and that's not experiences that you want right up in a competition. It's also not a good time to go into changing technique fundamentally or anything like that. It's really a time to just be cleaning things up and just making sure everything feels good, so that by the time you are ready to hit the platform, you're ready to go. So I wanted to touch a little bit on technique too, because I have the experience now of training my wife, which is amazingly fun. She's doing extremely well, and getting to know the squat, the bench, and the deadlift. She actually just hit a 45-pound bar for 3 reps on the bench, and I think she deadlifted 155 and squatting the bar. So she's having a lot of fun and progressing, on a session-to-session basis, which is the way it should be. But that's besides the point. The point is that in training her, I kind of realized how important a variable technique is, and how important practice for technique is to the beginner, intermediate, and advanced level lifter. You can have all the musculature in the world, but if you don't know how to use it properly, the neural efficiency that comes with being good at a motion is just entirely different. And it would be obvious if we took a look at a sport that was more skill related, or that we thought was more skill related, like tennis, for instance. Obviously if you don't know how to do a forehand and backhand, you're screwed in tennis, but we somehow think that in powerlifting it's a little bit less clear, and that you can just kind of be strong and get away with it. No, I mean, there's a huge element to technique, and I have a feeling that's one of the big reasons why my bench press has been able to progress as much as it has this year. This is the cleanest 405 has felt for me ever, so I'm very much looking forward to the competition. So yeah, workouts for me are getting shorter, and the RPEs are staying relatively high, but there's a lower number of sets, and just generally trying to keep the adaptations we've made and dissipate some of the fatigue and just make me ready for the platform. So some more footage in the next few weeks, but very much looking forward to this. Thanks guys, and thanks for staying with me through this journey. It means a hell of a lot.